A socially awkward engineering student, Yahya, seeks revenge for his father's tragic death by building a robot. The story unfolds with a chaotic evening where a child witnesses people fleeing in panic, and the police discover a robot with a countdown timer and gas tanks, which explodes shortly after. As Yahya is interrogated by Fairs, an older man who had him captured, the story flashes back to Yahya's life weeks earlier. He's shown to be a shy but brilliant student who impresses his professor with a new formula but gets kicked out of class for trying to explain it. Yahya's struggles with bullying and his crush on Mariam are also revealed, showcasing his awkward and emotional personality. At home, Yahya's father, Mr. Saleh, comforts him, sharing similar experiences from his youth. They decide to visit a hut with Yahya's inventions. Nasser arrives, demanding to know where their maid, Sama, is. Saleh sent her away for safety due to Nasser's illegal activities. Nasser leaves angrily after Saleh admits to calling the police. At the hut, Yahya shows his father a robot named Mousa, controlled by a VR set. Yahya explains that the device connects to his spinal nerve through his temporal lobe, allowing him to control the robot with his thoughts. He demonstrates by making the robot crush a stone, impressing his proud father, Saleh. Mariam arrives, concerned for Yahya, but he only gives a small smile before leaving. She apologizes to Saleh for the visit, but he asks her to stay. Saleh inquires if she loves Yahya, but she doesn't answer directly, stating she isn't his friend out of pity. Mariam recalls meeting Yahya when she borrowed his headphones for a piano lesson and realized he had no friends. During an interrogation, Faris asks how Saleh died, which Yahya denies. Weeks earlier, Yahya was cleaning windows, while Saleh mentioned Mariam's feelings for him. The man doubts her feelings because he often sees her with another man. To cheer up Yahya, Saleh shares his own love story, making Yahya smile. Saleh then asks Yahya to make tea while he plays some music. Yahya hears a car and sees Nasser and two men arrive. They attack Saleh, who falls, while Yahya hides. The thugs steal valuables and set the house on fire. Yahya watches his father die in the flames. Later, he sits outside as medics take his father's body away. Mariam visits to comfort him, and Yahya decides to sell the house, keeping only the hut. That night, he mourns on the cold floor. The next day, he reports Nasser to the police. The authorities doubt Yahya's statement due to lack of evidence and his credibility as the only witness. During interrogation, Faris cruelly suggests Yahya should have died with his father, calling him a coward. Feeling guilty, Yahya locks himself in, throws away the keys, and douses himself in alcohol, but can't go through with lighting the match. His father's apparition urges him to seek revenge and change the world. Panicking, Yahya uses his robot to break the door and realizes its power. Inspired, he builds a life-size version of the robot. On his last visit to the police, Nasser mocks him, unaware of Yahya's plans. In an abandoned building, Nasser spots Yahya and orders his men to find him. Yahya hides while the thugs search for him. He activates his robot, Mousa, which takes out Nasser's men one by one. Nasser hears the commotion and faces the towering robot. Yahya smiles as he sees Nasser flee, then uses Mousa to trap him in a car and blow it up. An innocent bystander films the scene and uploads it online. Yahya feels satisfied with his revenge and goes to bed. Meanwhile, a doctor tells Faris that his son's condition is worsening and needs expensive surgery in Germany. The doctor suggests an experimental procedure by a young doctor, but Faris refuses. During a conversation, Faris is interrupted by a phone call about a new assignment, which causes him to storm out of the clinic in a fit of anger. On a rainy night, Yahya receives a disturbing message from an online acquaintance who claims to have hacked into his computer and discovered that Yahya is the creator of Mousa, a robot. Around the same time, Faris attends a meeting where he is assigned to investigate the robot incident alongside Zakaria. As the investigation begins, the police arrive at the crime scene to gather evidence and assess the robot's capabilities. Meanwhile, a group of wealthy individuals holds a secret meeting to discuss their plans to acquire the robot for their own financial gain. Meanwhile, Reika pays a visit to Yahya, and together they watch a television broadcast announcing Fair's appointment to the investigation team, tasked with solving the robot incident. As they watch the news, Reika reveals that she has discovered Yahya's secret by showing him a sketchpad she had borrowed, which contains an illustration of Mousa, the robot. In a somber tone, Reika assures Yahya that she will keep his secret and asks if she can see Mousa in person. Yahya, seemingly trusting Reika, opens a hidden door in his floor, leading to a basement where Mousa is stored. Reika is amazed by the sight of the robot. Later, Reika takes Yahya to her residence, where she shows him a car that they can use to transport Mousa. The two engage in a conversation about Yahya's motivations for seeking revenge for his father's death, as well as his desire to right the wrongs of the world. Yahya confides in Reika, revealing that he has a mysterious contact from the dark web who has provided him with a list of individuals who need to be brought to justice. These individuals are involved in heinous crimes, including the sale of illicit substances, firearms, and the trafficking of orphans for their organs. The next day, Yahya and Reika embark on a mission to confront these wrongdoers, driving to a warehouse where they suspect the culprits are hiding. As they approach the building, they release Mousa, the robot, from the car. Upon entering the warehouse, the armed men inside are startled by a loud noise, and before they can react, Mousa bursts through a wall, using a car as a battering ram. The men immediately open fire on the robot, but Yahya quickly takes control, using Mousa to disarm and dispose of the assailants. However, the men soon realize that their standard-issue rifles are ineffective against Mousa, and they switch to higher-caliber machine guns. The increased firepower proves to be a challenge for Mousa, causing significant damage and even inflicting visible pain on Yahya. As the chaos intensifies, the robot narrowly avoids a rocket-propelled grenade, and despite the damage and pain, Yahya musters the strength to continue controlling Mousa. His determination and focus allow him to push through the adversity and maintain control of the robot. With unwavering determination, Yahya wills Mousa to regain its footing and continue the mission. The robot, under Yahya's control, systematically takes down the thugs, one by one, ultimately rescuing the kidnapped children and making a swift escape before the authorities arrive on the scene. Meanwhile, the police receive a tip about Mousa's latest heroic feat and rush to the warehouse to investigate. Upon arrival, they are met with a shocking sight. 20 criminals suspended from the ceiling, a testament to Mousa's handiwork. As the investigation unfolds, Fares discovers a crucial clue that suggests Mousa is remotely controlled, and the controller must be in close proximity to the crime scene for the robot to function. Later, Reika becomes curious about the mechanics of Mousa's control system and asks Yahya to explain. In response, Yahya uses a simple yet effective demonstration to illustrate the concept. As the days pass, Yahya and Reika continue to use Mousa to fight crime and protect the innocent, leaving a lasting impact on the city and its people. Their heroic exploits range from apprehending thugs to rescuing children from burning buildings, earning them widespread admiration and support. The people begin to see Mousa as a symbol of hope, and posters expressing support for the robot vigilante start to appear throughout the city. Fares invents a counter-device for the vigilante robot. On a rainy day, Reika and Mariam visit Yahya and reveal Mousa to Mariam. She warns them that their actions could be dangerous and urges them to stop. With their secret exposed to someone unsupportive, Yahya and Reika decide to hide and move discreetly. The authorities get a lead from a video showing a hollow car, which they trace to Saleh and connect to Nasser. They search Yahya's hut but find nothing. During Zakaria's interrogation of Yahya, Fares follows Hamdi, Zakaria's assistant, to the records room and accuses him of working with someone else. Hamdi eventually admits he works for Samir, Mariam's father, who wants to acquire Mousa. After learning about Hamdi's actions, Fares promises to keep it a secret and leaves. That night, he rushes his son to the hospital, but refuses the experimental treatment. Fares reassures Yusuf, who believes Mousa will save him. Inspired, Fares makes a deal with Samir to lead him to Mousa in exchange for money for Yusuf's treatment. Samir agrees, and they plan a train hijacking to attract Mousa's attention. Yahya sees the news and heads to the train. Meanwhile, another group kidnaps Mariam, knowing she's Yahya's weakness. Fares orders his men to detach the train car. Mousa jumps into the hijacked carriage, but the men use a jamming device to cut off Yahya's control, allowing them to start dismantling the robot. A passenger grabs the jamming device, letting Yahya reconnect and defeat the criminals. Mousa uses its body as a bridge to help passengers escape before being severely damaged. That night, Yahya and Reika find a DVD revealing Mariam's kidnapping. Reika thinks it's a trap, but Yahya wants to save her. He goes to Samir's mansion and tells him Fares has his daughter. Samir angrily calls Fares, saying the abduction wasn't part of the plan. Yahya sends Fares' full name to a dark web friend and plans to destroy Mousa to highlight his unique knowledge of the robot's blueprint, hoping to secure Mariam's safety. He releases a video introducing himself as Mousa's creator and reveals the robot's location. After saying goodbye to Mousa, he surrenders to Fares. Mousa explodes when the police arrive, and Fares mocks Yahya, demanding a blueprint for Mariam's freedom. Yahya warns that Samir won't let Fares off easily if Mariam isn't freed. Fares orders her release. Yahya starts writing the blueprint while secretly releasing an ampoule. Reika closes the car windows as a vehicle sprays white smoke, causing the guards to pass out. Men plant explosives, led by Yaya's dark web friend. Fares, unaware of the danger, thinks it's routine bug spraying. Yaya continues writing the formula. As the professor becomes aware that something is amiss, he quickly makes his escape. Yaya, realizing that he must cover his tracks, immediately erases the writings on the wall. However, he soon finds himself trapped, as Ferris's men have blocked the exit, preventing him from leaving the building. With no other option, Yahya calls Reika and instructs her to drive away, but not before he takes a moment to confess his true feelings for Mariam, something he had previously been unable to do. As the situation becomes increasingly dire, the explosives that had been planted in the building detonate, causing the walls to collapse and trapping Yahya beneath the rubble. Meanwhile, Ferris finds himself stuck at a police checkpoint, realizing that he will inevitably be caught and resigning himself to his fate. In a moment of desperation, he calls the doctor and agrees to undergo the experimental procedure proposed by the young surgeon. As he watches Zakaria walk towards his car, Ferris caresses his son's head, defeated and resigned to his circumstances. However, just as all hope seems lost for Yahya, his friend arrives on the scene with a cart and finds him alive, albeit trapped beneath the rubble. With a nod to their resilience, Yahya's friend remarks that people like them don't die easily, before helping him out from under the debris and escorting him to safety outside the building. As the scene unfolds, a mysterious individual searches the area and stumbles upon Musa's intact mainframe, lying on the ground. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.